At 10 o'clock, 78 degrees. Mostly sunny, hot and humid today with some pop-up storms possible this afternoon and a high of 90 degrees. Not much relief tonight. Low down to 73 with warm and breezy conditions. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Vince Vitrano. Not as hot today, though, as Monday, where Milwaukee did tie a record high temperature of 94 degrees, but still, City of Milwaukee encouraging people to take advantage of cooling centers, including Clinton Rose Senior Center on MLK Drive. Sheila Carter telling TMJ4 News.
When it's a really hot day, anybody, no matter what age group, can come into our building. They relax in this beautiful lobby where they'll be surrounded with a lot of love from our seniors.
Right, otherwise sound like a great beach day today, but Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson says choppy waters on Lake Michigan will make for unsafe swimming conditions.
Swimming again today, much like yesterday, not really advised, especially Sheboygan, Nozawa counties. That's where we've got that high swim risk for today. So if you are trying to stave off the heat, I know the lake is a good option, but again, that is something that we are continuing to monitor, those choppy conditions on the lake.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up in about 5 minutes. It will be hot for the Trump rally in Racine this afternoon. Happening just moments ago, the Biden campaign event slamming former President Donald Trump for the largely failed Foxconn development. This ahead of the former president's visit. Meanwhile, the line to get into the former president's event began to form at sunrise, with the gates set to open about an hour from now at Festival Park. Organizers say they're prepared to handle the heat.
We will have plenty of water, soft drinks, things like that for sale. A couple food trucks. The water will be very inexpensive, so we want to keep everybody hydrated. We think we have enough water. I saw lots of pallets of water being brought in this morning before I came in.
Kevin McDougall from the Racine City Civic Center on WTMJ. The former president set to take the stage in Racine at 3 o'clock today. President Biden is planning to implement 2 executive actions on immigration that aim to protect illegal immigrants who've been in the U.S. for years, protect them from deportation. One of the actions would protect spouses of U.S. citizens, and another would help children. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
A second executive action from the president coming today. This is on Dreamers. These are undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, and they're now adults. This new policy makes it easier for them to get work visas if they have a college degree and a high-skilled job offer.
Russian President Vladimir Putin in North Korea today. Been 24 years since his last visit to that nation when Kim Jong-un's father was in power. Relations between Russia and North Korea concerning for folks in the U.S. as they've warmed in recent years, especially following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. ABC News Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz.
This is a friendship of need. Kim supported Russia's invasion of Ukraine and has supplied Putin with much-needed conventional weapons, and Putin needs more. As for Kim, he wants help from Russia with his own ballistic missile and nuclear programs, and Putin sounds happy to help. Both men blasting so-called Western ambitions to hinder the relationship. The White House says it's not concerned about the visit, but is concerned about the deepening relationship between the two countries.
Talks expected to last 2 days. Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average down about 32 points to 38,746. S&P 500 still in record territory, up almost 3 points to 5476. And the NASDAQ at 17,840, giving back some of yesterday's gains at down about 17 points. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
The Vollrath Company implemented a DocuWare content management solution from James Imaging Systems. Vollrath Director of Information Systems, John Sharp.
They've helped us upgrade from a previous version of our document management to automate our accounts payable processes, to store the invoices to the three-way match, and really streamline those processes.
In addition to a DocuWare content management solution, the key to continued success is the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
And as an extension of our team, they've got intimate knowledge of why we've done some of the things that we do. And when we run into any issues, they're there to support us.
A DocuWare content management solution from the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
They know exactly where we are in our project cycle so that we've always got continuous improvement.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano inviting you to spend New Year's at sea and offering you an amazing deal if you book the Vinny Cruise now. Join my family and me on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas, a Western Caribbean cruise leaving December 29th. Right now you can save up to $875 per person if you book through my partners, Expedia Cruises Brookfield. It's the only place you can get this deal right now. We'll stop in Mexico, Honduras, Royal Caribbean's private island in the Bahamas, and let's spend some time together. A welcome cocktail party for our group, dinner, a full group excursion on Roatan Island, a day of sloths, monkeys, zip lining, snorkeling, and a delicious local island-style lunch included. Our group from Wisconsin rings in the new year then together at sea. Enjoy Christmas here at home, and then let's set sail for the trip of a lifetime. Couples, bring the kids, or grandma and grandpa. How about bringing the entire family? Email me for more information from Expedia Cruises Brookfield. Vince at WTMJ.com. That's Vince at WTMJ.com.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All sports desk. Brewers continue their 7-game West Coast road trip tonight. Features matchups with the Angels and Padres.
Here's the pitch, and Bowers. Deep right field. Adele back, and it is gone. A 2-run homer for Jake Bowers in his homecoming to Angels Stadium. Been a while for Bowers. That's his 6th. And he puts Milwaukee out in front.
Out in front 2-0 at that point on the Angels in the second, but the Crew would give up 3 runs in the third, 2 in the fourth, and that was about it. Brewers lose 5-3. Same 2 teams tonight with the Angels and Brewers at 8:38 p.m. our time for the first pitch. Green Bay Packers announced the annual shareholders meeting this year will follow the team's first open training camp practice. That will be July 22nd at 10:30 a.m. The shareholders meeting will be later that day, 3 p.m. start time in the Lambeau Field Bowl. 8 of the Packers' first 10 practices of training camp will be open to fans. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Southern Bypass just a bit slow on westbound 894 through the construction zone. Slowdowns between Loomis and 60th Street. Certainly been worse through that stretch, so overall, just a bit slow. Rest of the system is looking good. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. High of 90 degrees today under mostly sunny skies. Hot and humid conditions with pop-up storms possible. Mainly clear with a low of 73 tonight. Partly cloudy, very warm and humid on Wednesday with a chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. High of 88 degrees. Cooling off for Thursday with a high of 77 with a chance of showers and storms. Friday's high 80 degrees, partly cloudy conditions. And Saturday back up to 90 for the high temperature, partly cloudy and humid as well, with a chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Right now, Madison at 78, Green Bay at 80, 78 in Waukesha and Milwaukee. I'm Vince Vitrano, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:09.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. It's time for the Upswing on WTMJ, showcasing businesses, entrepreneurs, and community leaders throughout the great state of Wisconsin. Here's your host, Jeff Sherman.
'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Wisconsin. Conversations at the intersection of life, community, and business. Today, we're all business, headlines, and unique insights on local and national business items with the Milwaukee Business Journal. Joining us today, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, Rich Kirchen. Rich, thanks for taking the time this morning.
It's great to be here.
All right.
Great to be here still.
Let's fly right into it. Concerns about and a Milwaukee connection at Southwest Airlines. What's happening at Southwest Airlines today?
Well, I haven't been on a jet this morning, but it could still happen later today. We'll see what happens. Well, there's Southwest, has been having its issues in recent months and years. And now some of the shareholders are demanding that there be a change at the CEO level and on their board in order to just change the corporate culture and take a new approach to the business. And there's a large activist investor called Elliott Investment Management that recently, last week, had called for changes. And then Artisan Partners, which is based here in Milwaukee, and they manage about 2% of the stock in Southwest, joining the chorus seeking changes at the top.
Yeah, Elliott Investment Management invested $1.9 billion at Southwest Airlines, and the investment firm has no position in any way in terms of what a new revenue tool could look like for the airline, but this has got to be all about operational efficiency, correct? I mean, you're either going to look at maybe reducing cities, maybe increasing fares, maybe increasing fees. I mean, what are the opportunities for the airline to become more profitable?
The one I've read about was that they were going to change their boarding policy, so it wouldn't be the corral, and whoever jumps in line first, gets the first pick. So I don't know how it would work and why that would be better, having assigned seats, but the point is that they would look at anything and everything. Southwest has been doing things a certain way, and that worked for a lot of years. Yeah. And a lot of people liked it, and it was low cost. And for Milwaukee, had the most destinations. But big picture, they've been having some problems the last couple of years.
Yeah, I've seen on a couple of the national airline sites that there's some thought that there's a groupthink process happening. You've been doing things the same way for so long, as you mentioned, Rich, that, hey, now it's time to kind of not pull back, but really look at new ways to continue to innovate. By my count, Southwest flies to 14 cities from MKE. In addition, Southwest is adding more daily nonstops from Milwaukee to several existing destinations, Atlanta, Denver, Fort Myers, and beginning July 11th, they're going to fly nonstop service to Kansas City. So it's good. Obviously, Milwaukee is a pretty strong Southwest Airlines hub. The airline has top market share in 22 of the top 50 U.S. cities and is second place in another 10 of those top cities. So obviously a substantial player in the airline space. When we come back from the break, we're going to move from air to water. What's new at Mercury Marine? Talking to Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal today. I'm Jeff Sherman, and this is The Upswing.
Sure, times are tough in L.A. for the Angels, but maybe all they have to do is believe. That won't work against these guys.
Swing and a pop-up. Base hit. The throw coming home. In time! On a perfect throw from Perkins and Sutter ends the game.
Brewers Angels. Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 8 on your home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Big old jet. It's
Welcome back to the Upswing Business Headlines with Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Rich, what is happening at Mercury Marine? Sales sinking a little bit?
Yes, they of course are one of the top makers of outboard motors, among other motors that propel boats. And Fond du Lac is their world headquarters, and they have a huge plant there, 3,500 employees. I looked at the numbers after they announced layoffs last week. Temporary layoff. It goes from now into July and affects about 300 employees in Fond du Lac. But their outboard motor sales were down significantly the first part of this year, and apparently the trend is continuing, and that's why they need to do this.
You think it's just pullback on the consumer side, or is this just, I don't know, a trend that we're going to see?
Well,
people buying fewer toys.
Well, see, people spent a lot of money on toys like boats, outboard motors during the pandemic and right after. RVs would be another example of a product in that category. Mm-hmm. So there's some of that. People already blew their wad, to buy these big, ticket items.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is interest rates. If you're going to finance your big new Mercury outboard, it's going to cost a lot more.
Yeah, and you're probably seeing a little bit more sales in kind of the used market as well. People not buying as many new vehicles, obviously, and it's got to be the same in the boat space.
Right. And that's one thing that Mercury said was that there are fewer new boats being sold as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to move on to healthcare. A bit of a conclusion, if we will, at Ascension with the hack. I know on the Sherman side, we were trying to make some appointments recently and still having some challenges. The customer support was great. They're letting us know, hey, you can call in. We're going to get this rectified. But it didn't seem like we're able to make those appointments via MyChart yet. But at least it seems like they know what the cause of the hack was.
Yeah, it sounded. They said it was innocent. It was an employee unintentionally downloading some malware and malware, and they said it was a very small number of their locally based offices that were affected by this, less than 1%, but they just don't know exactly. They still don't know. They're still doing analysis of how much that spread through their organization, whether any patient records were somehow inadvertently released.
Yeah, and all customers will have access via Ascension, if they'd like, to credit monitoring services, which is obviously good to do no matter what, but to have that ability through Ascension, if you're a patient and concerned, it is now available to you. Let's move on to pizza. We're going from topic to topic quickly here. A new pizza place in the market is coming. Your colleague Linda Spice had this news yesterday. What can we expect from Mountain Mike's Pizza, Rich?
Well, what kind of pizza do mountain men eat? That's I think we'll answer that question. A billy goat pizza or rock climbing pizza. It's all those different flavors. They are based in California, or they started in California and sort of moved through the west and southwest and now into Wisconsin. Their first location is going to be in Greenfield at 78th and Layton. They're also opening in Green Bay. First stores are going to open next year. It says here they are known for crispy pepperoni 20-inch pizzas.
Okay.
So maybe crispy, the mountain guys.
Crispy pepperoni seems to be a differentiator, maybe.
They got to have that, and they do have an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Yes.
All right. What are your thoughts on national restaurant franchises in the Milwaukee market? It seems like it may be kind of tough to get people out of their habits because there are so many wonderful neighborhood pizza places in greater Milwaukee and really across the entire state. Is it tough for a franchise like this to really get a strong foothold, or do they just see the opportunity?
I got one word for you: Chick-fil-A. There are some national brands and some national chains that hit the market, and people are just crazy about it, and they're waiting in line for hours.
True, but the difference on the Chick-fil-A is that I probably didn't already have a favorite fried chicken sandwich. You know, now everyone's making them. So on the pizza level, you probably have your local favorite. You're like, hey, Zafiro's, Calderon Club, whatever it is.
True.
And to change those habits, you got to give me a reason why. And hey, maybe it is the spicy pepperoni that's a little bit more fried that I need to try it.
Yes.
And then you got to have the service and the quality to continue to move forward. And maybe that Mountain Mike's.
And you already have plenty of national pizza chains here if you want a national pizza chain.
Exactly.
So, and right, entrenched local competitors. Almost every neighborhood has one or two of their favorite pizzerias. So, yeah, it is different than the chicken business. I mean, you've got your golden chickens and some of those, but we'll see what happens. Taco John's came here a few years ago also, and I'm not sure. I remember when Sonic came to town too, and
that's true.
People were waiting in line for that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a rising tides lifts all boats. You can bring in new pizza. Hopefully, it's going to make everyone else better. When we come back from the break, I got a few people chiming in on Southwest via the WTMJ talk and text line, which is 855-616-1620. And is Clarios IPO ready? The local battery maker explores. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, joins us on the Upswing today. I'm Jeff Sherman, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Miss any of the truth on WTMJ?
I'm representing the bull.
Maybe there's something wrong with me.
Catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts and catch up on moments like this.
Shout out to all the nurses in Wisconsin and within the sound of my voice, whether you can hear me or not.
It's
you do
like
great
any
work.
Of these chains.
It's to be appreciated.
And listen to the truth on WTMJ every Sunday from 7 until 9 with Dr. Ken Harris and Denise Thomas, right here on 620 WTMJ.
I love the Fox and Hounds, voted the best supper club in the area and serving fabulous meals for almost 90 years in their rustic timber building. WTMJ's John Mercure here. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free always. Desserts, too. It's the best dining value in the state. Steak, seafood, pasta, even the steak and lobster, and prime rib on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Your second dinner is free as you dine in one of the 8 elegant dining rooms. Relax with your favorite beverage on the patio in the woods. It's spectacular. Incredible place to have a drink. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds, a summer must-see. Gift cards are perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free, FREE free. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Brighten up your Monday and Tuesday with a free dinner tonight. Tables are open at my favorite place, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Ridiculous fees, robocalls, customer service that's lacking the actual service. It sounds like you might be getting bullied by your bank. You don't have to settle. At Wintrust, we take a different approach. Whether you need banking solutions, a new home, or help planning your financial future, Wintrust has local experts ready to lend a hand. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start banking where you matter at wintrust.com/no-bully. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Banks, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, joins us today from the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620 from the 414. Going back to our first topic, Southwest needs to get its act together. From the 262, what I've always loved about Southwest is that what you see is what you get approach. No surprises with the extra fees and fine print, and yet reasonable, if not more, fares on the expense side. So it'd be sad to see a bunch of hostile investors force them to be, quote, deceptive like all of their peers. So some fears that, hey, maybe things will change at Southwest, but we'll keep an eye on that for sure. So Clarios, local battery maker, filed for an IPO originally in 2021 and is exploring that once again, Rich Kirchen?
Yeah, most people probably are not familiar with this company, Clarios, by that name, but for decades it was the Johnson Controls battery business, and Johnson Controls sold it in late 2018, early 19 to a major private equity company called Brookfield, which is not based in Brookfield, Wisconsin. They don't have any manufacturing here anymore, but they do have about 600 employees in Glendale at the headquarters, and they have a lab over there. And they are the largest maker of low-power automotive batteries, which you'd think maybe those are being phased out because of electric vehicles or hybrids, but they're not, because those vehicles also need, in addition to these big whatever lithium-ion batteries, they still need those, and there are advanced battery technologies, but Clarios is in the game and still growing, had a record year last year. But at the moment, they updated their financial reports so that if they do decide to go ahead with an IPO, they'd have this SEC filing at the ready, but right now they're not going to market.
Okay, all right. Another thing to keep an eye on for sure. As we head into the RNC, mid-July, new subcontractors have been named to retrofit not only Fiserv Forum, but the EWM Panther Arena and other existing entities. What are you hearing there in terms of the local involvement?
Yeah, well, Freeman is the general contractor inside the buildings at the Panther Arena, Baird Center, and Fiserv Forum.
And they're based in Dallas,
yes,
correct?
Yes, and they do these big events. They're well underway with basically tearing out the basketball arena setup and turning it into a convention space. So they did release the names of some of the subcontractors. J.P. Cullen is the biggest of the group. Staff Electric in Menominee Falls. Bliffert Lumber, going to get them some wood.
That's good. All right.
And Klein Dickert's going to move some windows around for them. So, yeah.
So they'll be the window supplier and installer based in Pewaukee, Klein Dickert.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of programming around the RNC, we're seeing the Pabst Theater Group has Bill Maher coming in the day before. I think it's July 14th. He has his date. What's happening in the RNC comedy space in terms of Fox News? And what will be how do you see ticket sales shaking out there?
Good question. Well, the story that I did last week was some of the comedians who appear regularly on the Gutfeld show on Fox News, including Joe DeVito, are going to be at the Improv in Brookfield also before the RNC. And I did talk with Mr. DeVito, and he said when they booked the show, they did not know that it was right before the RNC. And at some point he figured that out.
Yeah, okay.
So he says it's a coincidence. When I looked last week, it's the Friday and Saturday before the convention, and tickets were still available. $25 general admission.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a drink minimum with that, but
right.
They're coming in, and also he's going to stick around because the Gutfeld show, because Fox News will be in the convention zone doing their newscasts.
Okay.
And their commentary shows. The Gutfeld show also At least some of it or part of it is going to be broadcast
Speaking
live.
of news, we're going to get to ABC News next. WTMJ News Time is 10:30.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. New York's highest court has declined to hear Donald Trump's gag order appeal, meaning restrictions are still in place following his felony conviction last month. The New York Court of Appeal finding that the gag order did not raise constitutional issues that would warrant immediate intervention. President Biden will today announce new measures on immigration. ABC's Selena Wang says one of them would protect up to 500,000 undocumented immigrants who are married to U.S. citizens from being deported.
The second executive action from the president coming today, this is on Dreamers. These are undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, and they're now adults. This new policy makes it easier for them to get work visas if they have a college degree and a high-skilled job offer.
The CEO of Boeing is back on Capitol Hill as another whistleblower comes forward with accusations of poor quality control at the plane maker. Pop star Justin Timberlake has been charged with a DUI. He was pulled over in Sag Harbor, New York, on New York's Long Island. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 10:31. Decision Wisconsin, former President Donald Trump will soon arrive in Racine, bringing his 2024 campaign to the city's Civic Center. The outdoor event coinciding with this week's heat wave, sending temperatures back into the low 90s this afternoon. Forecasted high today in Racine, 91 degrees. A Franklin alderman resigning at the end of June. Ed Holford tendering his resignation to Mayor John Nelson earlier this month, saying his personal schedule would conflict with the duties of the office. The city of Franklin is accepting letters of interest from residents for the seat until July 1st. And a Fond du Lac man is in recovery after they were stabbed with a pair of scissors on Monday evening. The victim attacked and stabbed in the back with the scissors inside a home near downtown Fond du Lac. A 45-year-old man is in custody. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow Jones down 5 points this hour to 38,772. The Nasdaq is off 35 points to 17,822, while the S&P 500 up just a couple to 5,475. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Checking the roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Still working out those slow spots from earlier this hour on 94 East. From Highway 18 over to Calhoun is where you'll run into those slowdowns right now. And we've got a smattering of broken down vehicles still left over from earlier, including on the right shoulder at 41 South, right near Fond du Lac Avenue. Highway 145, you'll encounter that again on the right shoulder. They're working on an incident at this time. The rest of the system right now looking pretty good. No other major incidents or delays. And your WTMJ forecast for today, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. Could see some pop-up thunderstorms this afternoon, a high around 90. Warm, muggy, and breezy tonight, down to 73. Warm and humid again for your Wednesday, partly cloudy and 88. 77, a bit of a reprieve on Thursday. Partly cloudy back up to 80, warm and humid again Friday, and up to 90 for your Saturday under partly cloudy skies. Right now in Appleton, it's mostly sunny and 81. In Racine, as they get ready for the former president's arrival, it's 80 right now and cloudy. And in Milwaukee at 10:33, cloudy skies and 80 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 10:34.
Hi, I'm Mike Gansey from Yancey & Associates. We're passionate about continuing on our mission to help more Wisconsin businesses create more success. If you have any questions about our insurance products or just want a second opinion about your insurance or employee benefits, I invite you to check out ANSI.com, or better yet, give us a call at Yancey & Associates. And let's have a conversation about your business and how we can help you secure, protect, and grow your version of the American dream.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement.
At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Is your IRS tax debt making you feel anxious? The professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to negotiate your fresh start. Call them now at 800-230-5174.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined today by senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, Rich Kirchen. Rich, in terms of protesting downtown during the RNC, what are you hearing from local businesses in terms of location and shift in location? I know there were some concerns from some of the smaller business owners, bar owners, in the use of Pure Marquette Park. Have they identified a new location yet?
Not that I know of. You know, it seems like the Secret Service had really designated Marquette Park, and the city of Milwaukee seemed to be okay with that. So obviously, there's been a lot of coverage of the Republican Party and the RNC wanting to move the protesters further away. And then the latest development was last week that they were doing their own thing. They were proposing their own events at Marquette Park and at the Milwaukee County Historical Museum, which is right on that property.
Right, yeah. The Milwaukee County Historical Society is right at Pure Marquette Park. Also, the Westtown Association used to do river rhythms and other activations at that park. So I think the RNC is looking to do some programming there, whether it's, for convention goers, obviously not the general public, but, to do some type of activation there, maybe a beer garden, maybe something else. Then we'll see where the protesters' location moves. I'm thinking it could be a street. I don't know, other park areas in the security zone.
The other park that's downtown is right near the Good Karma Studios and offices here, Zeidler Park.
But
that's
Union Square.
A smaller park, and it wouldn't be as much room. So, and again, we haven't reported this, but what I've heard is that MacArthur Square has been suggested.
Right.
That is, just to the west of Miller High Life Theater and the Baird Center.
Yeah, and I think that, MacArthur Square needs some upgrades. There's some load-bearing issues there at that park if they're going to do tents and staging and whatnot. So I don't know if that's going to be optimal, but something to keep an eye on for sure. What do you know about leadership changes at both Aurora and Stratec?
Well, the news this week at Aurora Healthcare is that essentially the last three top executives from the old Aurora, which was based in Milwaukee and largest healthcare system in the state, largest employer in the state, they merged with Advocate Health Care of Chicago a few years ago, and then about a year and a half ago, Advocate Aurora in turn formed this joint operating company with Atrium Health of North Carolina. At any rate, there were three executives still left at the top in the C-suite, and they're all leaving. Christy Garcia Thomas and Rick Klein are the two that are. Rick already retired recently. Christy's going to leave in August. Okay. And then Mary Beth Kingston, who's the chief nursing officer, is going to retire at the end of the year. So it's the end of the era as far as the top Aurora leaders being involved with that healthcare system.
Okay. All right. And new CEO at Stratec?
Right. Well, Frank Kretschy, who had been the CEO for quite some time, he succeeded Harry Stratton, who also was the board chairman. They had some shakeup in their board, including Mr. Stratton stepping down at the beginning of the year. And they've been looking for a CEO. I mean, Frank Kretschy announced he was leaving, I think, last November. And they just announced that they are bringing in, speaking of Clarios, former Clarios and Johnson Controls executive from their battery division, and her name is Jennifer Slater. She was working with another automotive supplier. She's going to start in July, so we'll see what happens there. There's a lot of Strattec is an automotive supplier, and they face a lot of pressure to upgrade their technology and keep their prices low for those automakers.
Yeah, Automotive Access Products, lock sets, with their headquarters right on 33rd and Good Hope Road in Milwaukee. When we come back from the break, changes at Shopco Optical, a sale and what that impact could be for shoppers. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Even when you get a great price, diamonds cost a lot of money.
But we want you to be able to buy the engagement ring you really want.
You won't have to settle for anything less than fantastic when you come to Kessler's.
We do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
Friendly financing makes it possible.
We can give you 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit.
And with approved credit, we can give you 36 months to pay with just 9.99%.
And if getting your credit approved is a problem, we've even got second chance financing for people who deserve a second chance.
Don't settle for second best. Come to Kessler's.
Seriously, we do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
That's the sort of thing you can expect from us when you hear us say, "Welcome to Kessler's."
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com. And one more thing. Welcome to Kessler's.
Annex Wealth Management. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
I'm Randy from All Right Home and Remodeling. Did you know that ROI and exterior home improvements are some of the highest? Some sources say new vinyl siding nets 76% ROI and stone veneer is over 100%. Chances are you've seen your property value increase pretty significantly in the past few years. Want to increase it even more and improve curb appeal? Beautify your home's exterior. There's some great tax breaks to take advantage of too. Call us today to set up a free consultation or visit ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
Even though labor costs are higher, we all know the American worker is the most efficient, most productive worker in the world, especially employees in the Midwest.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
There's advantages to that outweigh extra labor cost. Freight costs are way cheaper if it's made locally. If you build furniture in China and you send it to the Midwest, it's 8,000 miles to get here. And in order to make that travel, you have to be well packaged, heavy cardboard, lots of bubble wrap. We don't do any of that. Our furniture travels from the wood shop to our warehouse and right to the customer.
PennyMustard.com.
Grandpa was long retired from working in the Rapids paper mill when I finished law school.
Dan Krause, Army veteran and owner of Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
Grandpa and Grandma asked me to help them get their wills set up. They worried about losing the homestead if they needed nursing care. This was my first experience with estate planning. I just loved it. During the years that I spent in the Army Reserves as a JAG attorney, I was building a small estate planning law firm. After retiring from 21 years in the Army, I've been growing the firm with 3 offices now to help more seniors like my grandparents. At Krause Estate Planning, our entire team loves helping seniors. It's a requirement in our recruiting process. We do help people of all ages, but we hope all of our clients will become seniors one day.
Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center in Brookfield, Madison, and Oregon. A veteran-owned law firm.
Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
Welcome back to the Upswing Business Headlines. Local, national impact with senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, Rich Kirchen. Rich, thanks for taking the time this morning. We appreciate it. Shopco Optical.
Sure.
Make sure we're on. We're going. Let's go.
We are on.
Shopco Optical sale and impact on customers. Shopco Optical's locations in Southeast Wisconsin include sites in Hales Corners, Mequon, Racine, Pewaukee, Kenosha, West Bend, Grafton, bunch of other cities. Obviously, Shopco Optical operates 140 stores across 13 states, but now there's a new owner for that entity.
Yeah, this is a company that's, right. It was one of the two surviving businesses from Shopko's bankruptcy. And they've been growing. They've been adding locations. They've been acquiring other optical businesses, especially around the Midwest, and under a private equity owner. And now they have a new owner from Germany who already has a couple of businesses in the U.S., but looking to expand. And their name is...
So there's some synergy there with the international company that they're able to kind of use some of their existing systems and processes to acquire Shopko Optical, but still continue the tradition and the legacy there, so we can still have fine service.
They said they're going to combine it with their existing holdings in the U.S. I don't know if they keep the name or how they're going to actually do that.
Okay. Well, from Shopko to Costco, the Kirchen family at Costco shopping?
No. I was to a Costco. When I was covering the retail industry, I did visit the first Costco store in the area, which was Grafton.
All right,
but that was my only time there.
Okay, we'll go upon occasion, and the one thing that obviously the hot dogs are front and center at Costco, $1.50, really wonderful. But another thing that's huge at Costco are the rotisserie chickens. And they have this kind of a cult following for sure. Really good reasons. They're kind of seasoned to perfection, whole chickens, and a really modest price tag of $4.99. But the calling card is that they're always fresh. And none of the birds sit on the shelf for more than 2 hours, which got to a couple national websites to think, all right, Tasting Table is one of these sites. What happens to those that don't sell after 2 hours? I'm going to have that right now. According to Tasting Table website, contrary to what you might think, unsold chickens aren't just tossed in the bin. They are used entirely. The entire assortment of chicken-based goodies found at the deli counter, the skins, the bones are removed. It's chopped and shredded into a bunch of other prepared foods at Costco. So don't worry, those Costco rotisserie chickens, if they don't sell after 2 hours, they're refrigerated and they're sold and they're put into other products. So I like those. I like those kind of good news things, because some people think, oh my gosh, if they don't sell, they're just getting tossed. But they're remade and reformulated. So
chicken salad.
Still have wonderful chicken salad at a good price from Costco.
All right.
So changes at a local media company. Your colleague David Schuyler reports kind of the end of an era at Kalmbach Media.
Yes, probably most people around here, again, don't know Kalmbach Media name, but they might know some of their magazines. Model Railroader was their biggest one for decades. They had Classic Trains, Astronomy, a bunch of others. And, they've been facing a lot of competition, of course, in the media industry, and print isn't what it used to be. So they are winding down their operations in the Waukesha area. The good news is that most of these publications will continue operating under the new owners, and they are actually retaining their staff, which involves about 69 employees. They're selling their offices in town of Brookfield, right near Waukesha at the Crossroads Center. Right. They haven't said where they're going to be, but Kalmbach is going away.
Okay. All right. When we come back from the break, I want to ask, what other business news sites do you consume on a daily basis? And are you a Washington Post subscriber? Because if you are, the Washington Post is shopping for a new brand, and there's some pretty interesting things that they're exploring. We're talking to Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, with a tip for today's home shoppers. You already know inventory is low and both competition and home prices are high. That's probably why you should not go with your bank or your real estate agent's mortgage pal for your pre-approval. You see, the banks have lots of branches, fancy headquarters, vice presidents and assistant vice presidents, and the loan officers who get referrals from real estate agents, they're typically very highly paid. Who do you think pays for all that extra expense? Turns out it's you. High overhead and high compensation naturally translate into higher closing costs. At Accunet, our extreme efficiency and low overhead mean your closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and other lenders for exactly the same rate. Don't light your hard-earned money on fire. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button and put the money you'll save in closing costs towards something for your new home. That's ACCUNET.com.
Flooring, carpeting, bath, or kitchen remodeling. Adair is the name Milwaukee has trusted for 65 years. This is Rob Adair. Ready to remodel? Give us a call, 761-3660. Get personal care from Adair, South 27th in Franklin.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Rose Gray here from Fox World Travel. Don't miss the largest vacation sale in the nation. It's the Fox World Travel exclusive July sale with Apple Vacations. July is the best time of the year for unbeatable deals. If you like saving, you do not want to miss out on this sale. Let Fox World Travel book your best price guarantee vacation and secure your vacation with just a deposit. Visit foxworldtravel.com/July and get on the exclusive list. That's foxworldtravel.com/July.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to the Upswing Business Headlines on a beautiful Tuesday here in downtown Milwaukee. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, joins us. A Milwaukee college will reduce its program offerings and eliminate staff and faculty positions following years of declining enrollment and budget deficits. Alverno College's Board of Trustees said last Friday that Business Journal reported that program cuts are coming, workforce reductions are coming. What does this mean just for the higher education positioning of Greater Milwaukee?
Well, I think this is a national trend, but private colleges in particular are having a rough go of it, largely because of declining enrollment, and that's just because of demographics. Yeah. Cardinal Stritch obviously is closed, and other private colleges have announced their own cost cuts. So even the UW system is dealing with having to cut costs. So, yeah, there's a possibility of fewer choices in town, but, the business model requires students who are paying tuition. So there's only so many to go around.
Yeah, it's why recruitment and retention to the market is so incredibly important, and just a huge responsibility for all businesses to continue to grow our population in not only the state, but Greater Milwaukee for sure. I mentioned before the break, Rich, are you a Washington Post subscriber? And it's okay to say this, even though, your role with the Business Journal.
I subscribe to the online version of the Post,
okay.
and I get the Journal Sentinel online as well as Sunday and Wednesday.
Okay. So a lot of
And I read the Wall Street Journal print edition every day.
Ooh, nice. All right.
Then I do my job.
That is, that's a lot of work. That's good. So beyond kind of the niche business news consumption, a lot of legacy publications like the Washington Post are looking to expand their niches. Do you have any idea what the slogan for the Washington Post is?
Only because you reminded me of it. It's something really dark.
It is. The current slogan at the Washington Post is "Democracy dies in darkness," and it dates back to 2017. As a former president, it kind of relates to attacks on journalists, but that's really now become kind of the calling card for the Washington Post. And now the Post is saying, all right, it's time to broaden our audience and find a space beyond just presidential politics. And they're hiring a national ad maker to look at new marketing strategies to reposition itself for the future. What's your thoughts just on legacy news moving into the future in a more modern world?
Well, we've been doing it for some time now with this thing called the internet, but,
Yes.
and then smartphones changed the game once again, and we've been scrambling ever since trying to figure that out. In the case of a major legacy publication like the Washington Post, it's not easy. I mean, they're selling a lot of subscriptions digitally these days. I'm being an example of that. And it's less expensive to post stories online and on your digital PDF than it is to print up newspapers. But yeah, it's an image thing. Younger people in particular are getting their news on TikTok and Instagram and so forth. So, and I know the Post has been, in addition to looking at business coverage, making an effort to expand beyond politics, which is their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
New York Times, Wall Street Journal. I mean, again, they're all Los Angeles Times, all dealing with how to transition to the new era that we're in.
You got to continue to position and protect the existing legacy brand while finding new readers always. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Appreciate your time today with us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News with Jessica Ty and Amy Taylor. We'll see you tomorrow.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry laid